Hi students, it's Claire. Welcome to Book Discussion. Today's video is called My Favourite Books, but it isn't going to be my favourite books. It's going to be my lovely assistant's favourite books today. With me, I have Alisa. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I love cats, and I have a cat. He's cool. I'm cat crazy. I love traveling, and I'm looking for an ideal job where I can travel and probably help people if I can.
Very cool.
I love dancing, is my passion. Any kind of dancing. I'd love to learn all kind of folk dancing. Eventually I'll do it. And the craziest thing about me, well, I mean, it's obvious for my friends, but not to everyone who don't know me, that I'm an Anglophile.
I love that. Would you say that reading is one of your hobbies?
Yes, definitely.
And what type of books do you like to read?
All types, really. Well, it really depends on my mood and, the period of my life. Recently, I've read a compilation of articles and essays written by Clarkson.
Oh, that's Top Gear guy, yeah?
Yeah, it's him. I never thought he was a journalist. It was a revelation to me. So it was quite interesting, especially because he talks about things that happen in Britain, and I'm an Anglophile, as you remember. So it was interesting to read and then Google some stuff to actually understand more. And I love novels a lot, and I've read a couple of good novels recently. One of them was called Charlotte Street. It's a romance plus adventure. I would think it's a good material for a film, so I hope they'll make one.
So a lot of people who really love reading were read to as a child. Were you?
Yes, I was. My mom loved to read to me, and I think I was mostly read fairy tales too. So
traditional Russian fairy tales?
All kinds of fairy tales. I had like an immense collection of books of like fairy tales from all over the world. So
can you remember any in particular that stick out in your mind?
Well, I remember I found African fairy tales quite wild. But my favourite fairy tale, surprise, surprise, was Harry Potter. And I think this book made me into reading. My mom probably couldn't see me. She wouldn't see me reading anything else with so much interest as those books. So I suppose she is grateful to J.K. Rowling.
Was there anything specific about Harry Potter that made you feel, I don't know, connected to the book?
And the fantasy world, just like, it engaged me. And the characters, they were so well written. I loved Hermione Granger, and I felt connected to her because she was sort of a geek, and I was a geek too. In fact, I'm still a geek now, so yeah, well, oh well. So yeah, and when I was reading, I was imagining her like going through the books in the library, and libraries were my favorite place. I've always dreamt to go to like a library like in Oxford or Cambridge, and all that atmosphere, the houses, I was like dreaming of England, and I was like imagining how England would feel like if I go there. And Harry Potter was my first like insight into the place, and it was magical. And I must say, my first trip to England felt like Harry Potter books too, because I was imagining something magical too. Yes, and I think I reread the book like a few times, and I watched all the films like many times, and I still love it. And I love the language. It's just pure pleasure of reading.
Bit of a hard question. Can you think of anything you've learned recently from anything you have read?
Definitely, yeah. What you learn from reading books is the culture. You learn to know the geography well. You learn to know some things that you wouldn't know from a newspaper, or you wouldn't know from like just going there. You learn some like hidden corners of places, of cities. You would look at the cities with another person's eyes. So this is what interesting. So you learn to look at things from different angles.
Are there any words or phrases that you've picked up from reading books?
Oh, there are tons. To be honest, it's my favorite thing. Once I finish the book, I go through pages, and if I left any marks there, like interesting phrases or grammar points or like, you know, idioms.
So you actually mark up the books as you're reading?
Yes, I do. So, words. I think one of my favorite words that I learned from like a few recent books that I read, and from one of my favorite books, Harry Potter, it is the word higgledy-piggledy.
Higgledy-piggledy, great choice. Can you explain it to our viewers?
Sure. Imagine your family is packing your suitcases for a holiday, and there are like 2 suitcases or even 3, and everyone is packing, trying to find their stuff, and you're trying to find a cable for your camera, and everything is so higgledy-piggledy, you can't find one. There you go.
Perfect explanation, I love it. So, last question. I know you've been studying book discussion with us this month, but are you excited about February's book?
Of course I am! Are you kidding me? Of course I am! Yes! I've already bought the book.
Oh, wicked! So, have you had a look yet, or not really?
Not really. I read through and I read the blurb. It sounds exciting. It's going to be my first book that is based on real story that is recent, and it's not England too. It's a different country this time. So I'm going to travel and discover this story. It looks very exciting. I mean, and the reviews from the newspapers, they're amazing. And I usually trust those when I'm picking the book. So.
Oh, very good, yeah. Fingers crossed. I've read it, I think it's amazing, so I hope we have a good time.
I'm so excited. Yay.
Hooray for February. Okay, so that's all from us today. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank Alisa for joining us today.
Pleasure.
And leave us a comment in the box below. These were Alisa's favourite books. I want you to tell me, what are your favourite books and why do you like them? Can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Bye!